and welcome to my channel. My name is Karen, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you all of the books that I plan on reading for the 2019 POC-a-thon. So sorry for the background, I am packing for college. There will be a video about this soon. Stay tuned. So POC stands for Persons of Color, if you didn't know that, and this is just a 2-week period where you get to sit down and really dedicate time to reading books by authors of color with characters of color in these books. And this is a read-a-thon where we get to celebrate the diversity that the booktube community is always talking about but never really shows. And I say that because oftentimes when you hear the word diversity in a conversation, there's only really one specific group represented in this conversation. But to me, diversity is a lot more intersectional and empowering than that. Representation in books and films and media is important to the people that need and want to be represented, as well as for the general audience. I know if I had half of the books that are available today when I was younger, then I would not be so pressed and emotional about this conversation in regards to diversity and representation. Reading about other people's cultures and customs and traditions cultivates some sort of appreciation and respect for other cultures. And I think if everyone picked up a book every now and then that challenged their views, they read a book about a different culture every now and then, I think this whole conversation with representation and diversity would be a lot easier of a conversation to have. But anyway, I will leave all the information that you will need for this read-a-thon in the description down below, including the prompts that are included for this read-a-thon. So I will be sharing with you books that I will be reading, but I only have one of the books, and that is because I want to start using the library a lot more. And this read-a-thon takes place during like the first week of school. So I need to renew my library card for the county that I'm in, and yeah. So the first book that I plan on reading, I actually have on my bookshelf back there, but that is Matter the Wreckage by Sarah Kay. And this is the debut collection of Sarah Kay's poetry, but this is an older book. She has been in the game for quite a while now. I've been a huge fan of Sarah Kay's for about like 6-7 years, and I think one of the first videos I've ever watched of her slam poetry is actually with Phil K. But I bought this book back during spring semester, and I've been wanting to just sit down and read this book, and I thought the POC-a-thon would be a great time to do that. So the second book that I plan on reading is Klansmen by Ron Stallworth, and this is actually a Spike Lee and Jordan Peele novel, and this book is nonfiction and based off of a incredibly true story. This book is about Black detectives that go undercover to investigate the KKK. I don't know about you, but that just sounds interesting in itself, and I don't know anything else about the story, but I can't wait to watch the movie after I read the book. So the next book that I want to read is actually a graphic novel, and that is America by Gabby Rivera and illustrated by Joe Quinones. I hope I'm saying that right. I know for a fact that I wanted to read a book or a graphic novel written by a Latina author, and I did not know that Marvel has a graphic novel about a queer Latina superhero. Say no more, sign me up. Yeah, this will be my first Marvel comic that I will be reading, but I am not upset about that. The next book that I plan on reading is Are Displaced by Malala Yousafzai, and this is a nonfiction book filled with stories of young people in refugee camps in different camps and cities, and their stories of seeking safety. And I think in a time where immigration and immigration policies are in the spotlight, this may be an important book to read, and I encourage you all to read it with me. If anyone wants to buddy read this book, let me know. And the next book that I'm really excited about is The Vegetarian by Han Kang, and she's a South Korean author. So I started reading the synopsis of this book on a New York Times article, and I stopped when I got to a point where it said that this book is a thriller. All I know is that the main character has a dream where she is a vegetarian, and the article mentioned that it's a thriller, but there aren't enough trigger warnings to warn the reader for this book. So that kind of confuses me, and I'm very curious. So I know for a fact that I'm going to be vlogging my experience reading this book. I plan on reading 5 books for this read-a-thon, and I'm not following all of the prompts because I think last time I did that, I put too much pressure on myself. So I wanted to take the time to read books that I've been meaning to read and books that I know that I would want to dedicate time to. Here are 4 books that you could read during this read-a-thon. So the first book that I have listed is My Sister the Serial Killer, and the author is a Nigerian author, and this is described as a funny thriller. So from what I gather, the main character keeps covering up for her sister that keeps killing her boyfriend, and the sister ends up dating the doctor at the office where this main character is a nurse at. This is a debut book as well, and it has done very well. The next book is Aisha At Last by Uzma Jalaluddin. I'm really trying hard at pronouncing these names because it is so important that you make an effort to. But basically, this is a story about a modern Muslim Canadian working single woman, and I don't think I need to say more. I did hear that this book pays homage quite a bit to Pride and Prejudice, and then I read other reviews saying that it doesn't really do that. So there are mixed reviews about this book out there, but it is a great option to have, and I do plan on reading this book in the near future. All right, so the next book is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, and this book has been doing so well in terms of book awards. The main character, Ziramata, is of course going through a lot in her life, and she uses poetry as a way of coping with everything that is going on. And I don't know, this book has been just doing so well. I've been meaning to read it, but I never got around to doing so. But this is a great option to have as well. And the last book I suggest reading, if you want to get around to it, is Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata, and Sayaka is actually my mom's name. But this is a translated book from Japanese, and this is a story of a young woman that doesn't live up to societal norms. She's been working at the same job for 18 years. She's never been in a relationship, and there are other things, but this all worries her parents. And then this very similar man to her starts working at this convenience store with her, and the story takes on from there. So I think with the combination of my TBR list and the books that I just suggested, this gives you quite a bit of an array of different ethnicities and religions. I encourage you all to take the time to sit down and really celebrate and appreciate the diversity that is presented in these books. I don't know, maybe one of these books would open your eyes to something new, and I really hope that it does. Anyway, that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe. That'll make me very happy, and I have new videos coming your way. But I hope you all have a great rest of the day. Bye everyone.